The topic of cyberterrorism is one of great discussion. The pros and the cons of this topic are obviously pretty evenly weighed. There's no risk at all with the limitless amounts of personal and classified information that is held within the World Wide Web. And if some 30-year-old computer genius who lives in his mother's basement decides to fool around with high-end security systems, what harm could possibly come from that? Mr. Mueller, an FBI chief, expressed his concerns on cyberterrorism during a debate where he stated that terrorists have shown a clear interest in hacking skills and combining real attacks with cyber attacks. This shows how, like other technologies around us, the types of attacks are constantly evolving and getting more complex. It is possible for this form of terrorist to hack into and control whole systems without leaving any kind of trace as to who they are or how they did it. Also, it's a more comforting form of terrorism. Most people are willing to be involved in this form because there is no risk factor to it. Terrorism used to involve participants being at risk and put in harmful situations constantly. Now it can be done from the safety of their basements when there's nothing else around them to harm them. Data collected from 2002 shows that during the course of the year, there was more than 180,000 internet-based attacks on companies. It is estimated that that number will increase by 60% each year. If an attack was released on a company, it could create substantial problems. Billions of dollars can be lost or held up during these cyber interferences. It would cause not only money to be lost, but also the trust of the company's customers. If the people believe that the company is not strong enough to deal with these issues, they will no longer trust the company's capability and move their services elsewhere. The risk of cyberterrorism is not only for large companies, but also a risk for individuals as well. In the 21st century, people are way too reliant on all of their technological devices. Cyberterrorism has the capability to completely shut down multiple systems. So next time you are planning on doing your online banking, using the internet for research, online shopping, all of that stuff, just be aware that there could be a friendly terrorist crawling around on the inside of your computer, lurking in all of your personal information.
It's April the 9th, and less than 3 weeks ago, a cyber attack in South Korea compromised nearly 32,000 computers worth of personal and financial data. The responsibility for this attack is claimed by a group known as Whois, which is a group of computer hackers that are based in and around China and South Korea. This attack is slightly different from some of the other attacks that have occurred in the region, just due to the simplicity of it. The fact that this simple attack was used to break into the computers of some of the most technologically advanced countries on the planet shows that perhaps our security systems are not as strong as we think they are. This brings about the question of, as I said, whether or not our security systems can actually hold up to the cyber terrorists of today. This is a criminal activity, but perhaps this is a good thing in the way that it gives us a wake-up call to realize that we actually aren't protected as much as we think we are. Just as Guy Fawkes scared the government of the 17th century England with his gunpowder plot, these hackers bring the scare of our credit cards and our personal information going into their hands. Speaking of Guy Fawkes, not all computer hackers are in it for the money. One of the more prominent groups, if they can even be called a cohesive unit, is Anonymous, a collection of great many individuals who work together as hacktivists, supporting any cause they deem fit to be supported. Although these guys are often labeled as cyber terrorists by the mainstream media, they often use their hacking abilities as a force for good. When the controversial SOPA and PIPA bills were being drafted by the United States government, which would limit and restrict what websites could be used by anyone around the world, protests and demonstrations were organized by this group in order to protect the internet we use from severe regulation. Anonymous has attacked numerous other actions and groups as well, such as websites that promote pedophilia, the Westboro Baptist Church, and the Ugandan government for the anti-lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender bill that they passed, among others. Just because many of the media outlets that we listen to often portray that they are terrorists doesn't really mean that they are. More often than not, they fight under the side that for the people more than anyone else does. And that's pretty bloody good. It seems to me that the internet is not something that you can regulate or even try to, and if you do so, it will only lead to disaster.